blatantly obvious, but some are still too dumb to figure it out for themselves. If you have to be told we will die if left alone in a hot car, then you're too stupid to have either of them. Being awake isn't cool. It means having to dumb down 98% of your conversation every day so you don't sound like a lunatic. Police came to John Livingston's door at 3 AM looking for a different man. When he applied his rights and insisted they came back with a warrant, cops kicked down the door, pepper sprayed him, tasered him, beat him and shot him multiple times, killing him. His 3 kids will now grow up without a father and hating the police. Victims of abuse at Devon school say they have been blocked from seeing documents. Oh, what a shock. It's like all councils block you from seeing your paperwork because they're all involved. The victims of violent and sex attacks at Ford Park School in Newton Abbey say the lack of access to paperwork is obstructing their campaign for justice. Like I said, the councils are all involved. Every single one of them. There isn't one in this country that's not involved in one way or another in paedophilia. Survivors of abuse at a residential school in Devon have discovered many of its records are missing from public archives or marked as secret. The victims of violence and sex attacks at Ford Park School in Newton Abbey say the lack of access to the paperwork is obstructing their campaign for justice. They are questioning why the information is being kept secret for up to 100 years as disturbing claims resurface about a paedophile ring centred at the school and controversial medical treatment of pupils. Members of the survivors group found they were blocked from seeing papers relating to Ford Park held by the National Archives in London, and other documents held at the Devon Heritage Centre in Exeter are restricted or missing. A note on one restricted document at the National Archives said it included sensitive personal information where released would distress or endanger an individual who was a child at the time. And the individual said, "I don't care, I want to see it. I want to see what paedophile shit you've got." Assistant Chief Constable 51 who caused head-on car crash while distracted trying to find Bluetooth button to call to Labour MP husband in her new Mini Countryman escapes driving ban. Karen Wilson of Lincoln Police strayed onto wrong side of road and hit car, distracted as she tried to find a Bluetooth button to call husband Phil Wilson. Officer paid $1,460 in fines and costs and had 7 points added to a licence. But what if that had been you or me? What would have happened? You'd have been charged with dangerous driving and you could have gone to prison. But because you're a cop, well, you get away. An assistant chief constable who caused a head-on crash while distracted trying to make a hands-free call to her MP husband escaped a ban today. Karen Wilson strayed onto the wrong side of the road moments after leaving Lincolnshire Police Headquarters and hit a Hyundai i30 travelling in the opposite direction. The 51-year-old became distracted as she tried to find the Bluetooth button on the steering wheel of her Mini Countryman and was unfamiliar with the control because she had only just got the car. Oh, well, yeah, that's fine then. Doesn't matter that you're dangerous driving, you're incompetent. You couldn't even operate a bleeding phone, never mind a bleeding Bluetooth headset. You can go free. Oh, you're just a normal man. Oh, well, you can get to jail. And it's ramping up time. Pound plummets as UK economy shrinks for first time since 2012. The pound fell to a 2-year low against the euro today after the UK's economy shrank for the first time in 7 years. It comes as investors are already fearing a disorderly no deal Brexit after Boris Johnson became Prime Minister last month. The country is now one step closer to a recession after the economy shrank by 0.2% in the second quarter of 2019. But wait a minute, we had Savage Javid yesterday, as I pointed out, saying, whoa, no economist is looking at a recession or a financial crash. But it's coming. ADHD is a fake disease invented by Big Pharma to drug children for profit. Natural news. ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is ubiquitous in the American classroom. There's little debate about that. According to CDC statistics from 2012, 11% of children between the ages of 4 and 17 had been diagnosed with ADHD at some point. With over 6 million kids diagnosed, it's hard not to wonder, is this condition even a real problem? And I would suggest it's not. It's fake. It's made up to drug your kids. But of course, most people are too dumb that they just think, oh, well, must have that disease then. Pennsylvania man, 27, is charged with aggravated animal cruelty after he placed fishing hooks into food he fed to stray cats. Kenny Rolls is charged with aggravated cruelty to animals and bodily injury. Cops investigated after getting a call about a cat with a fish hook in its mouth. The cat had surgery and survived, but has visible scarring around his mouth. Rowlings admitted putting meat or fishing line and dangling it from his back porch and cats at an abandoned property near his home in Plymouth. A Pennsylvania man accused of putting fish hooks into food he fed to stray cats is facing animal cruelty charges. Kenny Rolls, 27, from Plymouth, faces charges including aggravated cruelty to animals involving torture and serious bodily harm. A Society for the Pennsylvania Prevention of Cruelty to Animals said a stray cat was found April 8th in a vacant house in Plymouth with a fish hook in its mouth. The cat was treated and survived, but has visible scarring around its mouth. This piece of shit should be executed. Disgraced councillor who asked 12-year-old girl if she wanted naughty fun avoids jail. Former Washington councillor Paul Middleton asked what he thought was a 12-year-old girl if she liked naughty fun. A serving councillor who asked what he thought was a 12-year-old girl if she liked naughty fun during online chat has walked free from court. You see, if you're a dirty, filthy, child-raping paedophile, then you walk free because the judges are all in it. Disgraced Paul Middleton contacted the profile of Maddie on a chat room, not realising it was a decoy profile set up by police. A court heard the 44-year-old paedophile dad quickly turned the conversation to filth, despite being told the girl was only 12. When informed she was living at a care home, Middleton made inappropriate comments asking if she had sex with any other of the boys there. A judge rejected the former Washington South councillor's claims the messages were just jokey banter and said it was ridiculous to suggest it was anything other than you seeking sexual gratification. Judge Tim Gitties at Newcastle Crown Court told him, you began a one-sided sexualisation conversation which included clear references to you engaging in sexual intercourse with a 12-year-old. Looking back to the great British paedophile infiltration campaign of the 70s, the furore about links between senior Labour figures and a pro-paedophile activist group has its roots in a half-forgotten culture revolution. Looking back from 2014, it seems extraordinary that an organisation with a name like the Paedophile Information Exchange, PI, was taken seriously at a time in the 70s that it was able to present itself as legitimate. a legitimate pressure group. Yet the continuing row involving Harriet Harman, Patricia Hewitt, Jack Dromey and the Daily Mail reminds us that this was indeed the case. Whilst superficially it may seem that there was a lot of gullible people in the 70s prepared to consider Pye's argument, the reality is more complex. The boundaries of what was acceptable in terms of sexual behaviour were changing rapidly. Homosexuality had been decriminalised in 1967, but there was still considerable discrimination against gay people. Gays were beginning to hold demonstration. Even the word gay was just starting to be accepted. The wider political movement of the libertarian left it encompassed a whole range of other issues, from abortion rights and domestic violence to getting troops out of Northern Ireland and supporting liberation movements in third world countries. Naturally, a lot of confusion ensued about what was acceptable and where the boundaries should lie. Info into this maelstrom plunged Pye, which was formed in 74 by a group of paedophiles who defined themselves as child lovers, as the word literally means in Greek, rather than necessarily being interested in sex with children. The strategy was masterminded by Tom O'Carroll, the organisation's public face. This did eventually cost him his job as press officer for the Open University. Catholic League president says it's not rape if the child isn't penetrated. So we know what he's up to. In case you thought that the systematic abuse of children at the hands of Catholic priests followed by a thorough cover-up wasn't enough, Bill Donoghue is here to set the record straight and inform you that yes, things can actually get worse. Bill Donoghue is the president of the Catholic League for Religious and Civil Rights. The Catholic League states that it defends the right of Catholics, lay and clergy alike, to participate in American public life without defamation or discrimination, because we all know how much of a problem Catholics otherwise have with participating with their religion, right? Measles virus wipes out golf ball sized cancer tumour in 36 hours. You still getting your measles vaccine? You crackpot. The measles could be a single shot cure for cancer, Mayo Clinic doctors say. Clinical trials underway at the Mayo Clinic are revealing an unlikely friend in the fight against cancer, the measles virus. Scientists have long known that getting sick with the measles can sometimes trigger spontaneous reduction in the size of tumours, but recent clinical trials at the Mayo Clinic have demonstrated just what a powerful weapon the little virus can be. In the 2014 trial, a concentration dose of the measles put a late-stage cancer patient into long-term remission. The terminally ill woman had suffered through every type of chemotherapy available and two stem cell transplants, only to relapse again and again. She had an adverse case of multiple myeloma, a deadly cancer of the blood spread throughout her body and bone marrow. When researchers offered her the last-ditch resort, a massive dose of the measles, within 5 minutes she got a splitting headache and a fever of 105, followed by vomiting and shaking. Within 36 hours, a tumour the size of a golf ball on her forehead had disappeared, and within 2 weeks there was no cancer detectable in her body. It's been the easiest treatment I've done by far, she tells CNN. The virus strain was engineered and weakened in a lab, and then given in a dose strong enough to vaccinate 10 million people. Treating cancer with virus is not new. Mayo Clinic scientists say virotherapy has been used successfully on thousands of cancer patients, but this is the first case of a patient with cancer spread throughout her body going into remission. I think we succeeded because we pushed the dose higher than others have pushed it, she said the lead study author, Dr. Stephen Russell. And I think with that it is critical The amount of virus that is in the bloodstream really is the drive as on how much gets into the tumour. The measles virus makes cancer cells join together and explode. Mayo Clinic research Dr. Angela Dipenzio explains. There is also evidence that the virus simulates the immune system, helping it recognise any reoccurring cancer cells and mop them up. Subsequent clinical trials have shown similar results with ovarian cancer, breast cancer and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, according to 2016 research paper titled Measles to the Rescue. And current trials are looking at the effect of measles on glioblastoma, multiforme mesothelioma and squamous cell carcinoma. We recently have begun to think about the idea of a single shot cure for cancer. That's our goal with this therapy, Russell said. And now we come to some fake news. Or not, as the case may be. Jeffrey Epstein found dead in jail cell. First off, I doubt he's been killed. Yeah, they probably faked it. He's probably in Israel or something like that. Or if they did kill him, that's because he was cooperating and going to put the rest of them up. Both reasons to get him either out or kill him. The convicted paedophile and disgraced billionaire Jeffrey Epstein has been found dead in a cell in prison in New York. I don't think so. It stinks of a cover-up. Epstein, 66, had been charged with sex trafficking underage girls over allegations he procured a string of young women of young as 14 for his wealthy and powerful friends. The New York Times reported that Epstein, who once boasted high-profile friends including Prince Andrew, hanged himself in his cell at the Manhattan Correction Center. Now, bearing in mind, he would be on suicide watch. This stinks of fake. So at 7:30 a.m, a gurney carrying a man who looked like Epstein was wheeled out of the jail, the New York Post reported. Epstein faced a trial on the sexual trafficking charges next year with a possible 45-year prison sentence if convicted. On Friday, following months of legal wrangling, a Manhattan court released 1,200 pages of documents detailing lurid claims of the allegations abused carried out by Epstein on teenagers. The files related to the separate civil case of Geoff v. Maxwell in West Virginia. Geoff claimed he had been the US businessman teenage sex slave. Like I say, I doubt he's been murdered, although he could have been. I'm not saying that because, the easiest way to get rid of the problem, kill it. Or another way, fake the death, move him to Israel. Who's going to see him there? He'll stay in a big plush place somewhere and be told not to go out. But all these that have apparently died, like one of the Rothschilds in that helicopter, no, they ain't die. They're just faking the deaths to get out of the place so we don't go looking for them. Well, I'm going to be looking for them when we sort this shit out. Every single one of them, including that piece of shit. Express. Nadia, tasty new recipes. Great. Princess Pell found dead in cell. Billionaire pervert Epstein kills himself as scandal hits Andrew. Like I say, I don't believe he's dead. This stinks of a cover-up. The fail. As billionaire paedophile takes own life, FBI switch focus to Princess's socialite friend Ghislaine Maxwell. Andrew faces new Epstein anguish. Yeah, he's a paedophile. We know that. Telegraph. Johnson to end early release of prisoners. PM demands change to stop criminals being automatically freed after half their sentence. I'm glad he's done that, because these bastards are going to end up there and they're not going to be allowed to be out. In fact, they all need jail for life. Life being the rest of their natural life. Epstein takes sex ring secrets to grave after suicide in cell. Bullshit. Stinks. Absolutely stinks of a cover-up. We are hopeful that I can't read it. It's all in funny writing. The Observer. No deal spells calamity for Union One's Gordon Brown. We're sleepwalking to oblivion, former PM and paedophile. Senate can't open to unity government. Yeah, believe that. Disgraced stepson found dead. See, because it's getting so much coverage, which he would do. But he's not dead. I don't believe he's dead. I believe they smuggled him out and he's away somewhere, desert island or Israel. The very idea of a United Kingdom is being torn apart by toxic nationalism. Yeah, because, you know, if you love your country, well, that's bad. Mirror. Summer. I'll sue ex-Paul. Parasite. Megan. War on diet pills scammers. Palace cracked down on bogus ads claiming she uses products. Waste of paper. Fury at actor's joke. Ex-Corrie star shoot Boris. Andrew's pedo pal in jail suicide. Not a chance. Fate. People. And his pedo pal kills himself. Emmerdale's Mark first interview. My year of hell over brawl trial. Pissing it down again. The Sunday Times. Queen. Our politicians can't govern. Monarch voices disdain for today's political class. You know, all her boys that do as she tells them. Revealed A-level results are 48% wrong. The Queen's a parasitical paedophile that's been found guilty of murder. In an international common law court, she's found guilty of murdering children in Canada. Aaron Banks probed by crime agency over smuggled gems. Romeo's big night saved by taxi ride bar and borrowed jockstrap. And finally, it's now seven months since I joined the gym and nothing has changed. Maybe it's time I go there personally and find out what's wrong. Did you hear about the woman who went on a fishing trip with 5 guys? She came back with a big red snapper. Wow, this means I'm fashionable too. And I think that whenever I see that, I think, geez, fashion victim. 2 ladies having lunch. One whispers, I'm having a boob job. The other lady replies, that's nothing. I'm having my arse hole bleached. First lady says, really? I can't imagine your husband as a blonde.